My name is Melissa Armo, and I am the owner of the Swoosh LLC, a company that I started recently, and I teach gaps. I am an educator. I teach how to trade professional gaps. I do a class, and I run a trading room, and I'm a trader myself. And I trade the system that I teach. I don't teach any other system other than the system that I personally trade. And the reason I decided to teach it was because I have such a high level of conviction in what I do. And so I'm offering it as a class for people who are interested in learning the 26 points that I teach. So the class tonight is called the 26 Golden Gap Points to Profitability. And my information, if you're interested after the class, to find out more about the stock swoosh, what a swoosh is, gaps, anything, you can email me at melissa@thestockswoosh.com. Now, if we go over tonight, all right, which we might, because once I get into teaching, sometimes I really get into it and I lose track of time. HotCom is going to throw us all over into my trading room, so we're going to play it by ear. I've got an hour here in this room, and if we need to, we can go over to my trading room. And if we do that, I might go over, if you guys want to hear tonight about some of the trades we did today in my trading room, and talk about the market as well. The market was extremely bullish today, and we can discuss that if we have time this evening, if you'd like to hear more. So let's get going. What is a gap? A stock gap, when the opening price today is different from the closing price of the previous day's trading. That's really what a definition of a gap is. And I'm just going over this because not everyone here may know what a gap is. Some people are scared of gaps. They have no idea what they are. They think that they're, hard to trade or something. But personally, I think they're the easiest thing to trade because they're easily discernible in reference to what it is actually doing, which I'm going to discuss here in a minute, okay? So, the definition of a gap is a stock gap when the opening price today is different from the previous price of yesterday's close. It is a break in the price action from one day to the next. It's a break, a gap, a break, okay? What is the significance of a gap? The price is so different from the previous day's close in a gap. It is so different in the ones that I'm looking at, okay? And this price difference holds a lot of weight and significance because if people are in positions in the opposite direction of the stock overnight or for a long time prior, then the new price of the gap can cause a shock to the investor. And therefore, an action by them is required. An action is required. The action might be to sell out of the position that they are long in. An action is required. That's why this is so good as well, because people are forced to make decisions or have to make a decision that they would not normally be forced to do today, this morning, when they get up and they get out of bed and they look at their positions and they say, now what do I have to do? They have to make a decision. They are forced to make a decision. An action is required. And this action is what creates the momentum move that the stock makes on the day of the gap. So no matter what, okay, gaps are good because the action's required by the investors to do something, and that's what happens, okay? So what is the Golden Gap System? This is a 26-point professional bearish gap rating system. The purpose of this system is to help you evaluate which gap to trade each morning. Why should you learn the Golden Gap System? Well, since there are so many stocks each day that gap, using a system is significant to your success. And having a detailed way to find which stock to trade will make it easier for you to achieve success. If you don't have a system to pick the right gap, how are you going to know what to pick? Okay? How are you going to have any idea or any clue which gap to trade? Because the thing is, you could get up every morning and roll out of bed, and there's like a bazillion things that are gapping. And let me tell you something, most of them are crap, okay? Most of them don't do anything. In fact, every day when you get up and you want to go to trade, you know that most charts that exist from the planet that are in the market, that are there, stuff that's moving, has no significance of anything that you can make any money on. Okay, and I'm not talking about rebate trading or anything like that. Okay, I'm talking about trading, real trading to make money on momentum. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I do. This is the way to make money day trading. And as far as I'm concerned, it's the way to make money trading, period, all right? And it's the easiest way to make money trading, but the most challenging, because you have to have a system, it has to be detailed, and by gosh, you got to stick to it, okay? You can't deviate from it either. That's the other caveat there, all right? So you have to have a detailed way to find it, all right? So because most of the stuff on any given day isn't doing anything that makes any sense, all right, you've got to find something that makes sense. And how are you going to know that? Well, you're going to play the pattern, all right? This is all based on technical analysis. Now, here's this trade right here. This was one that was back, this was a golden gap, this is DG. This was back in December, a time of the year when I expected nil, zip, zero from the market in reference to fabulous gaps. And we got a bunch of them in the month of December. And in fact, I'm going to go over 3 today, besides this one, that worked incredibly well. You could have traded DG this month, and the 2 I'm going to go over in this seminar today, and you could have sat back and did nothing the rest of the month, and you would have been happy-go-lucky. It was a nice month for some of these things to work right, all right? And the market was in a sideways range the whole month. The whole month. If you were looking to trade any kind of trend trading in the month of December, you got chopped to bits and pieces, short or long, okay? It was a tough month to trade the market. I'm sure most of you know that. And if you didn't have a specific thing you were looking to do, it was hard to make money. So you've got to have a specific thing to do. Now, here's an example of a golden gap. Look at the range on this day. Went right to the target, went a little tiny bit past. The target was 43 bucks, and it went there. In fact, I didn't make the bigger chart over here. Well, when I got up in the morning, I was discussing this in the trading room. I said, boop, there's the target. And then I said after that, I said, you know what, every single day I get up and say, the target is so clear like that, I'm never going to miss the trade. Because whenever I say, oh, there it is, whenever the target just screams at me, I'm not talking about trying to find the target. I'm not talking about me sitting down and writing the numbers and trying to find the targets, which I work on every morning in my room. I'm talking about when I open up the chart and I say, woo, and it's just screaming at me, which this $43 was on this day that it did, and it went right there. It just went, oh, boom, and went right there. I mean, literally the stock said, I'm going there, see ya, and it got there. Now, how did I know this was good? Got up in the morning, rated the gap, all right? And this is what we're going to talk about today. So what is a golden gap? A golden gap is a stock that rates 20 points or higher on the 26-point rating system. And the system is designed for one purpose, to find a stock that will have a high odds of working in the day in the correct directional bias that you're wanting to play it, with a strong momentum move. And the strong momentum move is the way to make money trading effortlessly. If you want to, dabble in the market, okay, you can scalp trade, you can rebate trade. There is lots of different ways to trade. But when you learn how to momentum trade, the money can come so effortlessly that once you do it, you will never go back, okay? You will never go back. Once you trade gaps, you will never go back. There, I don't know if I just made that up or somebody else did, but there. Okay, once you trade gaps and with these momentums, you will never go back. You get in them at the right place, the money just rolls, all right? Okay? And that is what makes trading so much fun, all right? And personally, I don't have the patience to sit and scalp all day. It's just not my personality. But I also like to get in something that I like to go, all right? And it's really nice to get in stuff that has momentum moves. It makes making money effortless. And don't we all want that, okay? So what is a golden gap? And why is it important to have a rating system to find a gap? Because there's too many gaps to choose from. Virtually everything gaps every day. Therefore, you have to have a rating system to determine which stock to trade. And it is important to have this system, because without a system, you will not be able to see consistent results trading, and that is what matters, the reliability. And if we talk about some charts tonight, if we talk about some things that happened after the market, there was a few things today that didn't work right. And here's where people get tripped up, okay? They change what they're doing. They don't stay consistent with what they're doing. And then they wonder why they can't see the consistent results with their P&L. You must be consistent with what you're doing, with the strategy, with your entries, with your plays, not deviating from it. You have to do that. You have to stick with it. And people give up too easily. I've found that people do. They expect to make $1 million in a day or a week or a month, and that's not realistic, okay? I'm not here to sell you something that is unrealistic, okay? I'm here to tell you realistically this system works, and you have to be consistent with it. And if you want to make it trading, You're going to have to do that anyways, no matter what you do, all right? It's just part of the program, and then that's required. And let me tell you, the market's expecting you not to be consistent. The people on the opposite side of your trades are expecting you not to be consistent, all right? So do the unexpected, all right? Believe in yourself and your system and do it right consistently. So the 26 points, what are the points based on? The point rating system is based on the daily chart of the stock and the price. Everything involved in the rating system is based on the price. The price, the price, the price. And technical analysis from reading the daily chart of the stock and the price it is gapping out in the day. I'm extremely focused on the price. I do use a few moving averages. You saw that back on that one chart. We'll look at a few here in a minute. But I don't live and die by them or anything other than the Japanese candlesticks, which is how I'm making my charting decisions, and that's how I'm making the decisions, and that's what the point system is based on off of the daily chart. I'm using the daily chart of the stock, the price it's gapping at, and I'm reading that, and that's what every point is based off of. And you really don't need anything else but the price. You really do not need anything else. That price is really telling you everything that's going on. Now, you can look at other things to help assist you in making your decisions, moving averages, other indicators. Someone in my room today was talking about a level 2. If you want to use those other things to help you, do it. But the price really, the price it's trading at, what it's doing right now, this second, in real time, is really all that matters. And that's what I'm looking at when I'm looking at the gap-free market. It's like a puzzle, and you have to have all the pieces of the puzzle in the point system, all right? You can't just have one piece of the puzzle, two pieces of the puzzle. You have to have the whole puzzle together, and the system together works then, all right? The 26 points and taking the correct entries on the trade. That's what a system is, all the pieces of the puzzle together. And let me tell you, you have to have all the pieces of the puzzle together for your trading as well. And part of that is a system. Part of that is a specific strategy. Mine is bearish gap. Part of that is the right entry. Part of that is having your internet working on the day, okay? Having yourself be in a positive frame of mind. All these pieces, every piece of this puzzle is a piece, okay, that you have set up that has to be in place for you to trade successfully to make money. If all these pieces aren't in place, don't expect to be successful. If one piece is out, poof, forget it. It's that challenging, okay, as one individual to make money in the market that you have to have all the pieces there, all right? Got to have them. It's not impossible. It can be done, but I'm making you aware that you have to have all the pieces, okay? All of them. And let me tell you, a big part of that, too, is your head. Your head has to be on right. Your attitude has to be there. You have to be positive in a positive frame of mind all the time. Every time you're in a position, every time you're trading, when you're thinking about it, period, end of story, 24/7, all right? You can't be in a negative frame of mind. That's what trips people up, too. So the 26 points, why do they work? The point rating system works because it is such a detailed analysis of the price action, and it also works because everything that is being looked at each point uses a daily chart of the stock. And the daily chart of a stock is the most powerful and real indication of what the trend is in a stock for any trader of any kind. And you must get the direction right on the daily chart if you want to make money trading. We were discussing this today in my trading room because I personally, if something does flip for whatever reason on the day, won't go long it. If I know that the real trend on the daily chart is down, all right? So I do one thing and that's it. And if I see for some reason the thing is flipping, I'll take it off and I'm not buying it, okay? Because I can read the chart and what it is actually doing, and I say, no, I know what the trend is. The trend is down. Therefore, I don't want to be caught in this today. Because if you do that and flip your strategy for some reason on the day, you could get caught in momentum in the opposite direction at any given time. Because the people that control the money, okay, can do whatever they want, and they can dump stock whenever they feel like it, and you don't want to get caught in the wrong direction, all right? It's very, very important not to get caught in the wrong direction. So I never play against the daily chart. I never play against the trend. This is a simple concept, and I certainly didn't invent it, but I actually use it, and it's very important to me. So if one thing happens that shows me that something's going to flip on the day, like TIF, for example, today. TIF flipped over, rallied all morning up until I don't know what time it was, never even took it. But the point was, I wasn't going to turn around and buy it once I saw that it was selling on the day as a short. No way, all right? don't do that. Here's an example of one that turned green on the day that it gapped down. Right here, this little guy, okay? It was a good gap. Now, it didn't work right in the day. It had a dinky little tiny move here. That was it. And then it turned around and flipped. Didn't really go anywhere. Next day, it opened, dropped. Look at the move that this thing had after this, so this day of the gap, okay, the second day it went, and after the second day, this thing fell off a cliff. This thing fell off a cliff. This was such a beautiful continuation gap. This was right around here. It was under 10 bucks, actually, when it went here. It was like 9 something. But it bled all the way down here to under 8 bucks. The target really was $8, and it just kept bleeding down. This is an example of what I'm talking about, all right? So I rated the gap this day, and I liked it. Didn't work right, okay? Had a boop, little tiny thing here, made a tail, had a tiny move, killed it. Then what happened the next day? It immediately held itself. It only opened right over here, a couple pennies, immediately went round this whole solid day and fell off a cliff. I actually traded it this day. I didn't get this day here. I went back and I said, ooh, that thing is ready to blow. And this day, I grabbed this thing right here. This is a nice trade. Now, you could have traded it any time in here, all right? And this thing's still lower. Now, it may wiggle and jiggle here a little bit because this 50 has to come down on it, and it's going over the 20 here now. But this is lower, okay? So this is why I never go against the daily trend of a stock, all right? And we'll examine TIP tonight if we have time. I really have to look at that seriously, what happened with that today, but I never took it. I saw in the morning it wasn't going to work, and I knew it was in a bad area where it was gapping to, but really, okay, if I look at that tonight and I say, wait a minute, this thing is, you know, still in a downtrend, then I would never do anything with it unless I see it fixing itself, like this fixed itself right here, but even on this day of the gap, I knew it was in a downtrend. So the point system is powerful because it's reading what's happening on the daily chart. And if you don't know how to read this, okay, this is a skill. This is a skill that I can teach you by being in my room in my class. This is a skill. This is sophisticated chart reading. This 26 points, I made it up, okay? I created it myself. I made it up, okay? Over 4 years, the last 4 years I'm trading, it took me about 3 years to figure out the system. I added a new point this year. I had 25 points for over a year, and then I added a new point this year. And someday maybe I'll have 50 points. Someday maybe I'll get to a point where I have so many points I'd never get it wrong. You know, you just have to keep studying, working hard, and getting better. And that's what I do, you know, because I'm a live trader. But really, I don't know anyone else that has a detailed system as specific as this. But my point is, you can't deviate. And you have to stay consistent because these things really do work on the whole daily chart, which is what's important. Okay, here's the other one that we did in BBY. I'm going to go over the trade here. This came out of nowhere, like a flash in the pants. I saw it on my screen. It was like 9 o'clock, this thing got down all the way here. I don't remember why. But anyways, it was a good reason. And I saw the gap, and I saw what happened with this, and I saw this guy up here that happened the day before, and then it wiped it out. Played this thing on the day. This was really nice. And by the way, saw this the other day. This is 1221, I think. This is 1222. Triggered in a daily setup right there and went, see how this is lower right here. Look at this. Never went back over the top of this guy here. And look at this. You could have taken this here as a swing trade short. I mean, you could have traded this a million times up here. I don't have the hard chart. But this gap is going to hold itself right here. And then the stock did a daily sell setup right here, and this is lower. Next target on this is 11 bucks. Really, I think 10 something, 9 something was really the next target. But this is a really nice trade here. This is just nice the last 2 days. Anybody got this? All right, this is what I did the day of the gap, though. Saw it, watched it, gap down big, but the area where it's at, it should have just gone. You know what? This is good. I'm taking it as soon as it sets up. Boom, right there. I was in it. Right there. Never did anything wrong. Never went over the high of the day. I put my stop over the step bar, and I'm in, and you get the drop. Now, there was an ad in here I'm going to go over in a minute. If you wanted to take it, there was like 2 ads. Actually, there was 3 ads. Here, and here you could have added. You could have added here. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. There were 4 ads. I didn't take them all. But I usually only add once if I do. But there were 4 ads to this, and they were all around the same price. I'm going to go over the play and then the ad. I typically do not like to do more than 1 ad, maybe 3 at the most. But either way, I never do it too far from my price. Some people do it where they let it drop and it rallies back and they lower the pivot in the ad. I like to keep it around my initial price. I don't want it to get too far away from this price because that bothers me. I have such a good price when I'm my entries. I don't want it to get too far away from me. All right. So the entry time was 9:33. Price was 12:46. Stop was 12:54. Now this risk is whatever you guys want to use. Okay. Cut it in half if you want to. Cut it in thirds if you want to. So if you wanted to take 3,500 shares of it, the risk was $280, and the exit was $11.75. You could have made $24.85 on this trade. This was no ads at all. Let me go back here. Here, okay. Stop over here. This is no ads. Taking it down into the drop. Okay. Now where am I getting out of this? I have no idea where this is going to go. I'm hauling this down to the reversal time. Try to get it down to 10:15. But then you have to take it off in here once it starts to bounce, okay? So that's why I had 11.75. This is where I get out of it once it started to bounce here, okay? You can lower your stop right over this pivot if you want to, or as soon as it flips here and goes 1 penny over the previous green bar, you got to be out. All right, so that was the exit on this one. And actually had missed out on like 10 cents or something in this, but tried to hold it down. Could have gone to $11 that day, you never know. Didn't do it. Right here's the exit. Okay? And actually, it didn't make it down to, no, it didn't get down to here. I was thinking at least here, it almost got there. Not quite, but I really thought $11 today the gap. Now here it is with the ad. This is just one ad, all right? Here's the initial entry, 12.46. Okay, your risk $280. If you add at 9.45, I'm estimating the price here, what it would have been with the ad. 12.42, so then you would have had 6 cents. You're still risking about $300, but then you would have made a little bit more. Okay, you would have made a little bit more with this if you had taken the ad, and you're getting in at a price that's pretty close here. See, this is like less than 10 cents away from the price. So I try to do ads as close to the price as I can. Let's go back here and see where that was. 9.45. Okay, right here. Now you can lower your stop, but you have to put it over this guy. Okay, over the topping tail. Set it over here. Alright? Now there were other ads, but I didn't take them. But you could have done them in here. I mean, this thing just, the 8 was pushing down, the 20 was pushing down, everything was just riding down. There was no way that this thing wasn't going red today. You see that? Now this is a discussion, I've had with other people. They say, wait a minute, it's gapping to a support. It's gapping to a support here, therefore it's a buy. No, see, I don't look at it like that. I never look at these like that. I just don't do it. And this did go red. Okay? See what I mean here? And then this thing bled after the gap too. Look at that. So that had a nice ad. You could have made like almost another $1,000 just with the ad here, risking the same amount of money. Have to lower the stop. Okay? Because your cost average your price to be not that far away from it. So it's a nice trade. This is something that's important to learn how to do too. This is how you can get heavy like in stuff that really starting to go and work and set up in the first 15 minutes of the day to have really big days and nice trades with no stress. No stress. Talk about making money effortlessly. This never did anything wrong. You should not have gotten excited about this little topping tail here. There's nothing wrong with this. There's no reason to think this is over even here. This is a beautiful trade. It's not doing anything wrong. It's doing everything right, and it falls off a cliff. All right? These are the kind of things that happen in a golden gap. And these are the kind of setups you get too, I might add. Look at this. Okay, this is the kind of stuff I call my trading room too. And I think most people are pressing the button with me when I call it because they have trust and faith in me after being in the room with me doing this stuff. All right, here was another one we did. BBBY. This was in December too. This was beautiful. I was in love with this thing the night before. In fact, I said, I want BBBY to set up tomorrow. I really hope it goes. I can't wait to do this one. Is it going to do it? Boom. Get up in the morning, it's gapping down. I'm all over it. Okay, I'm all over this thing here. So this worked out huge on the day. This was a terrific play. And actually, look at this one here. I haven't looked at this lately. I have to see what this is doing. We can look at this tonight too. This is holding this gap too. Look at that. All right, here it is. This is the 1-minute chart of BBBY. This thing here too, when it's set up, you take it and you're all in. Now this is very aggressive here. Extremely aggressive here because I saw it go 1 penny over 57 and I said take it in. But the real trigger was here, right here, under this 1 penny low here. As soon as it triggered 1 penny under the previous bar, you're in. It was a little bit under 57, but I screamed to the room and said take it. or you can take it down to the full next target. Either way, whatever you want to do. This right here was it. This is the move right here. This is an extra 50 cents if you're in it. If you stay in this path here, you better not give any of this back. The stop has to be lowered here if you do it. All right? This is a huge trade. This is a huge trade. This is a huge trade. This was a huge trade. These are the kind of ones that get out of bed and wish I had every morning. Entry time was 9:38. Price was 56.89, the real trigger, okay? But I did call 57 in the room. And 57.03 has to be the stop. It's 2 pennies over the 57.01, which is a tiny, tiny tail on the bar. I'll go back and show it to you. The risk was 14 cents if you didn't, get it at 57. Just the 56.89, the real trigger entry was there. And on 2,500 shares, you would have risked $350. And the exit into the first drop, which you have no idea if it's going to go past there or not. So really, you have to be monitoring this, and this is a beautiful trade, almost $2 in just that drop. Take it off. $55 has to be the target. Take it off into the drop if you want. So the profit on that was $48.50. If you stay into the second target, which was $54.50, and you reached it, okay, you got paid a little bit extra. But, you have to, this is where everybody has to money manage themselves. I write the targets in my trading room of the day. I tell people what they are. I say, these are the targets. Manage it yourself. If you're going to stay in this thing past here, you can't stay in it forever, okay? You either give it one pivot or into the next reversal time, which was 10 o'clock, to get another breakdown. And that's kind of what it did here. See that? All right, I got another breakdown. But there's no reason not to exit this trade into this kind of drop. From here to here, you must take the trade off at some point. I mean, you're up all this money, you must take the trade off. You have to book the money. The most important thing is booking the money. You can take good trades, but if you don't book it, then the money isn't there. The trade is not over until you press the button and exit it. Book it, okay? I have this saying that I do, make the money, book the money, stop. Make the money, book the money, stop, okay? Make the money, book the money, stop. You have to book the trade, and you can't keep trading all day incessantly. You get something like this, this is perfect, this trade was perfect, this drop was perfect, the entry was perfect, the gap is perfect, okay? The gap is perfect here. That's it. Your day's done. Turn the computer off and go for a walk. Go to the gym, all right? This is a beautiful trade right here, And during earnings season, okay? Earnings season just started this week. These kinds of golden gaps will happen very often during earnings season, and it lasts about 6 to 8 weeks. So you can see these all over the place. You have to be able to discern which ones are the ones to trade and take, though. You have to be able to discern which are the good ones, all right? Because some of them are not good, and that's where the rating system comes into play. Trading is about consistency and longevity. If you want to have longevity, you need to produce consistent results. And if you want to produce consistent results, you must stick to the plan and stay consistent with your trading and strategy. If you want to have consistent results, you need to have a detailed focus system like the 26 points to help you find the golden gap that will work right to trade on the day. You have to have something in place, a plan of action in place. I like to talk about the human brain. I'm reading a book right now, actually, on the human brain and the mind. And I talk about different stuff like this in my class and in my room all the time, because I think it's so important to understand how the brain works in reference to our decision-making with trading. It is extremely important to think about that. When you increase the predictability in your routine, this helps defend against stress. And it will also improve your performance, which helps with the brain. Having a system, the 26 Golden Gap Point rating system, is a routine for profitability, and this helps your brain. The routine helps your brain. Getting up in the morning and rating something and going point by point by point and having a routine helps your brain. And this reduces the stress that's involved with trading to begin with. Okay, you understand? And regular habits such as rating a stock, getting prepared, knowing the numbers, doing the worksheet. I have a worksheet I give out in my class. And being in a trading room that is supportive is so key. Again, reduces the stress, eases the stress on the brain. You need your brain to trade. You need your mind. You won't do well without it, okay? If you're doing well trading and making money, it's because you are exercising and using your brain. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes we feel like our brain is in overload, okay? And we can't take any more information overtrade or you're going to get to that point either. So that's why I like to look at a couple things in the morning that I really, really like. Now, I look at a lot in the morning before the market to decide what's good. But then when I find a couple things, then I'm on them. And that's what I'm focusing on. Don't allow your brain and your mind to get in that position where it is so stressed it can't make the proper decisions, because you are risking money when you're trading. And if your mind and brain is in overload, you will not press the button when it's supposed to be pressed to get in or out, okay? Whether you're up or down, you won't do it. You will be too stressed out, okay? You'll freeze like a jackrabbit, okay? You have to make sure that you defend yourself against stress. Okay, you guys, I'll answer all your questions when we're done. I promise I won't forget you. I see some questions there. Regular habits help your brain work in a positive direction and avoid mistakes, errors, depression, fear, and anxiety. Taking these things out of the equation when risking money is extremely important. You've got to find a way to take it out of the equation. How can I take off the most stress I can out of this equation? Because I'm never going to take off the stress of the fact that I'm risking money. That's there, that's trading, that's part of it, that's part of the deal. When you sign up on the dotted line and say, I'm going to trade the market, you will always be trading money. That is there, and you're not going to get away from it. So everything I teach, everything I do is to lessen the stress and ease the brain so that the brain can work in the proper direction to assist you by helping you make the decisions that you need to make money, to be profitable. And let me tell you something, your brain is so powerful. Our human brains are so powerful. My brain is evolving at a faster rate. I just turned 40, okay? In the last 6 months than it has ever before. And I always was a smart girl, okay? But I am reading, I am studying, I am doing all kinds of things now, and you'll find that your brain, because it's a muscle, will stretch. It gets to feel uncomfortable, it feels uncomfortable, you're pushing it to the limit, it stretches, and it falls back, okay? And instead this time when it comes in, instead of going back to the place it was before, it's a little bit bigger. Then you're going to stretch it again, then it's going to get a little bit bigger, then it's going to come back in. It's going to keep stretching until your brain doesn't feel overworked at all anymore, and you can take in all kinds of information and it's just there. And you really become more evolved then. And as you do that, your trading and your decision-making skills are going to be better all around. Your trading decision-making skills are going to be better. Things also are going to improve in your life better all around. You're not going to be under so much stress. We are in control of our brains. Our brains do not control us. We are in control of our minds. Our minds do not control us. We are in control of the decisions we make in the market. The market does not control us. If I want to get up tomorrow morning and I don't want to trade, I'm not trading. The market isn't saying you have to trade, Melissa, today. If you don't trade, you're fired. I'm not fired. This is just a job I'm deciding to do. I pay myself accordingly when I get something that meets my requirements. If it doesn't, I'm not going to trade. That's it. I'm in charge. You're in charge. Be in charge, okay? When you start to feel like you're not in charge, that's the problem. You're not going to see good results. Be in charge of your decisions and be in charge of your mind, okay? This is very, very, very important. Now, let me just quick answer this one question here. This is being recorded, okay, so don't worry about it if you missed the beginning. The trading room, I'm going to talk about at the end of this class and answer the questions about the cost of the trading room as well. I've used this in other seminars before. For those of you who haven't seen this little mouse, this mouse with this helmet is me, okay? This is me. Success requires calculated risk, and this is what you got to look like if you want to make a lot of money trading, all right? You've got to look like this guy. You got to have your helmet on. You say, I'm getting that cheese, and nobody's going to stop me, okay? And that's what it has to be, all right? Success requires calculated risk. The calculated risk is having a 26-point rating system. The calculated risk is having a system in place at all. Some people don't. Some people don't do just one strategy. They do 5 or 6 or 10, and they don't do any of them well. Success requires a calculated risk, and the calculated risk is I am going to do this, I am going to risk that, and I'm going to do this because I'm looking at all these things that work, okay, and I'm going to trade them. You can't just decide to do things willy-nilly. You've got to take calculated risk. Yeah. The early bird gets the worm and the mouse gets the cheese, somebody said. But, this is basically what everybody looks like when they're trading the market, because you're one little guy with a cheese, okay? You're trying to get the cheese, and you're up against all these big guys over here, all right? Now, in this case, it's a trap, but in the real world, it's hedge funds, market makers, you know, the ECNs, bad spills, you know, anything that could happen in the news, you know, all kinds of things that are over here and you have no idea. What are you supposed to do? You go and you take the risk calculated based on the system, you get the cheese and you're out, all right? Make the money and book it. Grab that cheese and run back into your hole, all right? That's what you got to do. Don't go there and take a little teeny piece of the cheese and eat it and wait for the trap to come down in your face, okay? Grab the gap, grab the momentum, grab the BBY at $57 and get that run down and take it all off. Grab that full piece of cheese in your hand and just swipe it out of there, all right? That's what you got to do. That's what you have to do. So there it is. You have to ask yourself, how badly do you want it? You got to want it, okay? You have to want it, all right? There's so many people trading in the market. Some of them say they want it. They think they want it. They might want it. Do they really want it? Do you want it bad enough that you're willing to pay money for a class to learn or be in a room, okay? Do you want it bad enough to actually look at what you're doing and say, you know what? I think that what I'm doing isn't working. I've been doing this for so darn long and I'm not making money. This isn't working. Do you want it bad enough to change what you're doing and admit that what you're doing is not working? All right? For those of you that have been trading and you're doing something you're not making money, ask yourself, why isn't this working? And be honest with yourself. Okay? No one's gonna, this isn't candid camera. Okay? No one's gonna record what you're doing. You're trading by yourself every day. You know, you have to live with yourself on the honor system. You have to live with yourself on the honor system. Okay? And you have to be honest with yourself. And I can help you do that, all right, because I'm non-judgmental, and I generally want to help people. And I find myself becoming a mentor for people that are in my room or taking my class. And I ask them the hard questions that they need to ask themselves. If you're not making money, why are you still trading? You know, that's what I say to people. And if you're not willing to spend the money for a class or change what you're doing, then why are you doing it? Okay, don't keep doing it then. Your time is valuable. Now, I wanted it badly, so I took the 3 years it took me to figure this out because I was going to get it. Because when I started doing gaps, okay, there wasn't enough information. Things worked sometimes, things didn't work other times. I took other classes, okay? There wasn't enough information. Some places teach to look at 2 things, 3 things, 4 things, 5 things the most I've ever seen, and it's still not enough, okay? It's just not enough. You have to get to a point where you're so detailed that it almost never fails, and it still will sometimes fail. Like it failed today. It will still sometimes fail, okay, because nothing's 100% in the market, but you got to get close. You got to get so darn close. And I think 26 points is pretty darn close. But to get to that point, you have to want it, and you have to really want it badly. And everybody wants a different amount of this, okay? Everybody has a different idea of this. I also ask a question in my questionnaire when people sign up to take my Golden Gap class. I say, how much money do you think it'll take for you to feel rich? How much money do you think it'll take for you to feel rich? Answer that question for me. And then, of course, they just give it to me. I'm the only one that sees it. But you know what? The answers are astounding. The variances and the differences in the backgrounds of people is astounding to me. I mean, I want you to think about it yourself right now. You don't have to tell me. You don't have to write it in the room. Okay? But think about it yourself and answer the question. And yes, my trading room is open every trading day, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to noon. Closed at noon. So trading is about power. It's the power of the market, the power of the gap, the power of the Golden Gap system, the power of conviction, the power of the information, the power of the knowledge, the power of you. You have to be a strong person to trade the market. It requires strength. It requires a personal strength because you will go through a learning process when you're getting to the point from when you start to when you're actually profitable and can start to pay yourself. You have to be a strong person to do that, and I'm telling you that. I'm telling you that right out of the gate, okay? And that's why I'm saying you have to start exercising your mind now to make your mind stronger. Your mind stronger, okay? Somebody asked another question here. I try to take a trade where I get in, where I can see a risk to reward of at least 4 to 5 in the worst case, where I risk a certain amount of money and I get paid 4 to 5 amounts, worst case, and I'd make between 10 and 20 in the best case. My winning percentage, I'd say my gaps, okay, the gap system works 9 out of 10 times over the course of a month and a year, all right? So they work a lot. I'd say it's about 90%, and I don't know anything better than that. But every once in a while they won't work, okay? And sometimes they won't work to the point that I won't even take them. We're going to go over two tonight if you guys have time today. One I never even took that I saw that wasn't going to work, so of course I just didn't take it. And then one I did take, it didn't work. All right? It's so rare that I'm in 2 trades at once. With the size that I'm taking, honestly, I really don't. I just don't. With the size that I'm taking and stuff, I feel like I have to focus on it. I feel like I can't look at more than one thing at a time. And that's just a personal decision. That's not something I teach. Do whatever you want. You can be in 2 or 3 gaps at the same time. I don't do that. It's rare that I'm in 2 trades at the same time. I'm usually only in 1 at the same time. I determine the overall trend of the daily chart by rating the gap based on the 26 points, and that's what I teach in the class. That's how I read it. And then I'm determining the trend based on that read by rating the gap on the point system by 1 through 26. So, the power of the human spirit. The power of the human spirit is the power within you. And you are the one with the power. Your human spirit is so powerful, and you have the power within yourself to follow a disciplined trading plan, make money in the market, and keep yourself motivated until you have achieved your monetary goals, whatever they might be. And remember, this is different for everyone. And it has to be different based on your skill set and your skill level as well, okay? So be realistic with yourself. You can control your destiny by making a choice in your spirit not to allow anything to stand in the way of your trading success. It has to do with the power of intention. When you have a clear vision, clear intention, and a plan of action in place, then you can use the power of intention to assist you in creating the trading results you desire. Get clear. So many people are trading and they're not clear. They're not clear in the strategy, the system, nothing. And I'm telling you right now, get clear. My system helps you get clear because it's forcing you to focus on rating the gap, forcing you to focus on only a couple things, forcing you to focus on the entries, forcing you to focus on the price, on the chart, on the points, okay? Intention only works with complete clarity and focus, and the Golden Gap 26-point rating system gives you the clarity and focus you need. Use the power of intention and the rating system to assist you to making money. Focus on the highly rated gaps. Focus on 1 or 2 stocks. Focus on one strategy. Focus by being in the stocks with trading room. All of these things will help you achieve your trading goals. You have to have clarity. This is a wonderful picture here. It's a mirror, but it's hard to tell what's going on here. Is it a kaleidoscope? Is it a rainbow? We can't even tell, okay? The bottom line is that you must have clarity with what you're doing with trading, with your money. It helps with your confidence level. And the clarity can come from a system that you follow, okay, each and every day. Okay, Tom, we'll talk about that at the end, I promise. The one last thing I want to talk about tonight is conviction. This is something that this is a word that I didn't invent this word, okay, but I use this all the time with trading. And, you know, I did not trade anything I don't have conviction in. You must take every trade you make with conviction. The difference between trading with conviction and without conviction is night and day. Night and day. It's the difference between making money some of the time or losing. It's the difference between making a lot of money or a little. It's the difference between taking a lot of size or cutting a trade short. It's the difference between winning or losing. It's the difference between winning or losing. I'm telling you, this is good stuff, people. You've got to learn to trade with conviction. This is something else I teach in my class. This is so important. It's a difference between profitability or break even, which a lot of people are. There's some good traders that after commissions and after platform fees, they're break even. Why? Okay? Because they never take the good trades with conviction, with size, because they don't have enough conviction in it. Okay, they just don't have enough conviction in it. You got to learn that. You got to learn what that is. You got to feel it. I feel that I talk that. Everybody hears that in me in the room. I'm all over this, I say. Okay, that's conviction. It's the difference between sitting at your computer for 3 hours a day or working at a job for 8 hours a day for less money and a job you might hate. Okay? That's why it's worth learning to do this. It is worth learning to do this, to do something. You can work 2-3 hours a day and make money and love what you do and do it from home. It's the difference between making money over the long haul and having longevity in the market or only being in the game for a short period of time. Okay, I'll answer all these questions. We're almost done here, you guys. Just hang on. So the thing is, you've got to learn how to trade with conviction. And if you want to change something in your life this year in 2013, maybe trading is it. Or if you're already a trader, maybe learning this strategy and taking my class and the 26 points is it. Because if you're not making money, I want you to ask yourself tonight why. And you got to be honest with yourself. If you're not going to be honest with yourself, who is? Okay? You've got to be the one that's honest with yourself. Here's a picture of what no conviction looks like. You are in the dark. Okay? There's a bleep of a light, the moon above you. You can barely see. And there's going to be 12 hours of darkness. What are you going to do? The market isn't open for 12 hours. You won't make it out into the light. Okay? And here's 100% conviction. You wake up in the morning, the sun is shining. You can see as far as the eye can see. Trade like this, in the light. There is nothing like trading with conviction. There is no comparison, and you cannot live a successful trading life without it. You can't. You can't. If you interviewed professional traders, they may not say the same word, but let me tell you something. When you hear them talking, they're talking with conviction about stuff they did or stuff they're in or stuff they've traded. All right? People that are trading millions of dollars and making millions of dollars trading are trading with conviction. They are. Okay? They absolutely are 100%. All right? So, the 26 Golden Gap system that I teach, plus the intention, which is the power within you, your own mind, and the conviction you're going to get and learn from me in the system and hearing me teach you how to trade like this, reading charts sophisticated in a sophisticated way is going to equal results for you. Okay? It will. Here's KSS. This is another gap that worked beautifully and had a continuation that dropped off a cliff after the gap. Here is it once again, reading the daily chart. This gap changed the trend of this stock to down when it happened, and look what it did. Okay, I rated the gap, and I saw what was happening in it. Now, before this, maybe it had a chance to save itself, but you knew after the gap that it wasn't going to do it because the gap rated high on the rating system. Okay, and look what it did after that. From the time of this gap here around $46.50, it's dropped down here now to $41.50. I forget what the target is on this. I've been watching it. You know, this may wiggle and jiggle now, but it's lower. I haven't looked at it today. But this is a beautiful example of how one rating system, one gap, can pay you on the day and pay you for a while. You can just find one of these golden gaps, learn how to rate them, find one good one that works. You get paid on a traded, day trade it. You could get in as a core trader, a swing trade, and you could just play that out. You could just play that out and not do anything else, just sit in the sidelines. You could play another golden gap if you see one as a day trader right on the day, or just get in at the day that it gaps and just trade it out to the target. Play it out. If you've got the account to do it and hold these overnight, you can do it. And you don't have to take some huge positions in these overnights either. Okay, just make sure that the gap is good. How are you going to know that? Rate it. Okay? So you need a plan of action. You need a plan of action in place in order to be successful trading, and you need a proven strategy and a system that works in order to make money trading. The 26-point Golden Gap rating system is a plan of action, and it is a system that has a strategy and entries and exits that allow you to make money successfully. 2013 has to be about transformation. It is for myself, and it needs to be for everyone. If there's something that you want to do to transform your trading, think about taking my class. This is a chance for you to think about your trading and really get honest with yourself, okay? The time to do it is now. It's January. It's a good time of the year. And I like to use this example of a butterfly because caterpillars turn into butterflies and make an unbelievable transformation that looks magical. And look how beautiful they are. They're absolutely gorgeous. And you get to look just like this butterfly. Transform yourself this year. Looking like this happy guy, trading gaps and making money from home in 2-3 hours a day. Now, it's going to take work. It's going to be hard to go from that worm to this guy. It's not going to happen overnight, but you can do it. You have to see the goal in sight, okay? See the goal in sight and keep it in your headlights, okay? Be willing to transform yourself to get to this point instead of just letting your life be so-so, letting your trading be so-so, okay? I'm telling you, you can be more. I'm saying you can do better, all right? It's possible. Believe in yourself. It's possible. What does it mean to transform? It means to change in form, appearance, or structure, metamorphosize, just like that butterfly. To change in condition, nature, character, to change into another substance, or transmute. That's a good word there. Transmutation, that's another good word for this year. Learning the Golden Gap can transform your trading and your life, okay? If you don't know anything about trading, you're not a trader now, you will love trading gaps. You will love it when you take a trade and all of a sudden you've never made any money in the stock market before, and you make money. You're going to say, wow, this is like magic. Okay, this is just like magic. All right, I'll answer all your questions in a minute, you guys. So it's a 26-point checklist to success. That's what it is. And here's the information about the class. I'm doing the next class January 26th and 27th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. If you're interested, email me at melissa@thestockswoosh.com. The cost of the class is $15.99, but I'm running a special for this presentation only. If you want to sign up by January 15th, which is Tuesday, okay? Tuesday, which is in 5 days, if you want to sign up ahead of time, I'll give you 1 month free in the room, and the cost will be $14.99. If you're interested, you can email me at melissa@thestockswoosh.com for the class outline. I'll send it to you for more information, or if you want to sign up and get this discount, okay? Remember, education is a present to yourself. It's a present to yourself, and I know that there's a cost to take the class, but the information is good. And I've had people tell me, actually, the class is underpriced for the amount of information it is. And I also let people retake the class after they paid for it the first time. They can retake it as many times as they need to, because the information is intense, and you will have to retake it, okay? Because I'm doing it on a weekend because I don't want to interfere with my trading, because I trade money this Friday and I run the room. So it's a jam-packed weekend with a lot of information, and I will let you retake it for you to keep getting it. The best thing for you to do is take it, start doing it a little, get with it, have questions, come back, retake it. That's good for your brain to keep retraining yourself over and over. Remember, the pattern repetition, the memory, getting in your head how to do it. Yes, I'm going to talk about the room in a minute. Winter is a great season to study and learn. It's winter most everywhere on the planet here, and it's a great time to study and learn. So here's the information about the Stock Swoosh trading room. I do call out my trades in the room. Okay, I'll say when I call it out fast. Okay, if there's time, there's time. Ahead of time, if there isn't, there isn't. I call it as soon as I see it. Okay. And what does the room trade? It trades gaps. How many symbols are looked at per day? 1 to 3 symbols are focused on per morning for new gaps and several continuation gaps, which you play, like the KSS, the BBY. I call those continuation gaps after the fact. How many trades are called per day? 1 to 4 trades only. I don't do a million trades. 4 is like a lot for me. 4 is like a lot for me. Okay. There's a lot of focus. Losses are kept to a minimum with small hard stops, and winners are allowed to run. That's one of the things that makes my room different. I had someone actually email me the reason why my room was different, and this person has been in every room that's out there. I'm not going to name those rooms, but he has been in every single one. He's been trading for about 4 years, okay, and he wrote me a very nice email just over the weekend, and he detailed out everything about all the other rooms, which I didn't want to put in here. And he detailed all the reasons he thought my room was different, and I wanted to share this with you. He said I could, but he didn't want his name put on it because a lot of people probably know him. He said, I like your passion for trading concepts and motivational seminars. Naming concepts like the swoosh is very important. It is mentally stimulating to think about the picture of what the pattern can do. Some of my pattern names need work. Large gap fade, for instance. Trades need big names for visual stimulus. He said, limiting your gap list to the quality down gaps has really opened my eyes. He's in my room, by the way. I will not tell you how many gap ups I have poorly managed. Other rooms have way too many lesser quality gaps on their list. He said, reviewing the earnings gap's potential for the next day is unique. I do this too. At the end of the day, I look at what's coming up the night before, and also the next morning I say what I'm looking at to trade, what I wanted to do. Like that's what I did with the BBY. I looked at it, I said the earnings are coming out tonight, this is what I wanted to do. If it does it, it's good. And then it did it. Opening the room at 8:30, he comes in at 8:30, but I opened it at 8. And it is awesome. I am unable to process a bunch of gaps, most which are bogus, from 9:10 to the market open. So he likes to come in early and get the list of gaps from me, and I'm there at 8 o'clock. Okay. He said other rooms really mention targets prior to the trade as you do. I put the targets in the room in the morning before the market opens. Okay, and the resistance areas. Reviewing the pre-market support and resistance for potential gap plays is important. Other rooms really mention this. Okay. You do a very good job of reviewing your trades on the same day and follow up the next day. The detail of the entry is critical, as is the re-entry and reinvestment the second time around is very important. This is all the stuff I do in the room. Revealing your personal struggles with trading is uplifting. I talk about stuff that happens in real life that's happened to me in the room. And it validates the demons novices deal with on a daily basis. He said, closing the room at noon is perfect. I cannot tell you the hours and hours of sitting on the platform looking at patterns. Too much time in a computer will make a person crazy. The market moves between open and 11:50. So that was a really nice email that I received from someone that's in my room that detailed all this information of why he likes my room. You know, he just did it, and it was really nice for him to do it. So the cost of the room for non-students is $250. If you've taken my class, it's $200 a month. So if you haven't taken my class, for a non-student, $250 per month is the classroom, is the fee to be in the room, Monday through Friday, 8 to noon. And if you have taken the class, it's $200 per month. But if you sign up for the class by the 15th, then you would get the room for free for a month, and then the course is only $14.99. So being in a stock switch trading room helps keep you motivated, okay? Helps you find the quality gaps and the entry. So thank you for coming. I want to answer everyone's questions. Kathy is going to plop us into my room, and then I can answer the questions that are in here. How many trades do I make in an average week? Well, I usually look at one to three symbols each morning, okay? 1 to 3 symbols each morning, but I don't necessarily take 1 to 4 trades a day. You know, I like to only take 2 trades a day if I can, all right? So there might be days I get up and I might not trade anything if I don't find a highly rated gap. But then there might be days I get up and there's two things I like, and then I'll do one and I'll go to the next one, and then I might end up taking 3 or 4 trades that day. So, I mean, I do trade almost every day, but once in a while I won't see anything, and then I don't trade anything at all. And it's better to stay away then if you don't find anything you like to trade. My average risk-to-reward ratio is, that's what I was talking about earlier, 4 to 5 on the worst case, and plus 10 on the best case. I mean, you saw that entry in the BBY and the BBY. Those are the kind of entries I'm taking. They're aggressive. There's no way about it. Okay, there's a system that I'm doing. There's a reason I'm taking them. The gap rates well. The time frame, all the things. I teach the entries in the second day of the class. It's aggressive, okay, but my stops are tight, and if it doesn't work, I'm out, okay? So my risk pays. I don't take a trade if I'm only going to make 1 to 2, 1 to 3. I don't even take it. If I only think I'm going to make 1 to 4, I almost don't even take it, to be honest with you. I'm looking for the best trade that I can get, risk to reward. Okay, you guys, I think Kathy's going to boot us over, and then I'm looking at these questions. I'm going to try to remember what everybody is asking me here, and then I'm going to answer them over in my room. If everyone wants to stay, Kathy's going to plop us all over to our room, and then I will answer the rest of these questions over here. Kathy, whenever you're ready.